Hello everyone, I'm Balaura and we are back with the series of analysis on several songs Aurora have shared with us in which she talks about violence in our lives and toxic relationships. I know many of you have already interpreted these songs she has released throughout her albums. I just want to focus on a certain areas of these songs because what I'm doing in my daily life is working with girls and women who have been in their lives in very violent relationships, and they are struggling to continue their lives being free of violence. And because mm, I know in the audience we have some of you who maybe are struggling with these aspects in your life. I thought it's possible to share a little bit of my input on this area. And so today we'll talk about It Happened Quiet. Uh, it Happened Quiet will use the recordings one she has made live on the current together with Celia Sol, and the other is obviously the part on the concert of Nisdora Desdom with her string orchestra. And we'll start first with uh, Nidaros Domen because the orchestra is giving a different vibe to the beginning of the story.
Eyes blue and hollow as it rains against their will, feathers falling out of a pillow, as if time is standing still.
Um, Here we have the first the first part of the song in which she says, "Eyes blue and hollow as it rains against their will." And also, she portrayed the feathers falling out of the pillow as the time is standing still. The image of the eyes who are blue and hollow is the classical image of um, of the human being who are not afraid anymore, but they are not with us. We see in our daily work a lot of women and girls who have this look in their eyes. Actually, is a frozen look. Is like mm, they are lost. Their soul is not there anymore. And when she portrayed and said, "And as it rains against their will," so sometimes you have this feeling when you want to stop crying, but it's just pouring out without you being able to do anything about that. And the eyes being blue and hollow is also is everything um, beyond our um, our seeing is lost. Many of the women who have been in this type of relationship have literally lost their souls because while you are living in a life full of violence and fear, you literally need to get rid of what you are feeling inside because otherwise you can't live with yourself staying into this life. And also the image of um, what we decide to keep in our minds regarding violence which just happened. Usually the persons who are living in this type of violent relationship, they they can't they don't have a history like we do, so they sometimes they forgot a lot of things because they decide that images are too strong and hurtful for them to keep them in their mind, but still they remember like time is dilated, and time being dilated into this during this um, episode of violence, you just don't see what is happening to you in that particular moment, but you see the things around you. Like in this episode, in which probably the pillow has been used in the bed, has been thrown out, and just the feather are falling down from the pillow, is the image you keep you keep in you, you keep for you.
I can't remember much more, but I know it happened quiet, so quiet. Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Love is why.
Um, so the message and the title of the song is "It Happened Quiet," and it's in a little bit in contradiction with the following verse, in which she said, "Words falling out of the window." Um, but also she said about the silent call. Um, uh, Something which is happening in a violent relationship is the fact that um, not always violence is happening um, with a lot of struggle and a lot of noise. Many of us think that um, a violent relationship should be accompanied by a lot of yelling and a lot of noise, um, because the physical violence is seen to be something which is happening with uh, a lot happening around. But when we are talking about violence happening in usually in our beds, and maybe it's a strong uh, language for some of you. So what we are seeing is that sexual violence in domestic relationship, in intimate partnership, is usually happening silently, because also the victim mouth is kept shut, so she can't scream, or even she can scream, the fear is so high that she cannot articulate any words. So when mentioning about words falling out of the window, there is that expression about, like throwing something on the window is like losing something. So like you don't even mentioning that because it's going out of the window. Here she is saying the same thing about words falling out of the window. So uh, the woman who is facing this type of violence, she lost all her words. So her words are falling out of the window, and what is remaining is a silent call. So she is asking for help, but she can't articulate this crying for help. So it's a silent call. It's almost like she is begging for someone to hear her, even she can't scream, if even she can't say anything. And that's why it's so frightening, this episode, because all is happening quiet. So the violence she is facing is in her bed, is happening quiet. The pillow is there. Uh, the silent call is there.
and you fell apart like a stone can be broken into sand. A thousand pieces spread across a dying land.
And the next part is regarding the transformation of what used to be love and used to be a loving relationship, and the transformation of the man she used to love, and the fact that everything is falling apart. So first you are something strong, you are like a stone. A stone could be any kind of stone, but the image of the stone, that it's something indestructible. But she said, so this stone became 1,000 pieces. Uh, she is a stone who is transformed in the sand, and this sand is falling on a dying land. So the atmosphere is very somber. What used to be a strong relationship become fall apart because of the violence, and everything is dying right now. Um, Everything which used to be in a way, now it isn't. Now is falling apart because when you introduce violence in a relationship, doesn't really matter how much the two people are still loving each other. Violence is always making things falling apart, because in a relationship in which one of the parties is frightening the other, so whenever there is fear in a relationship, um, that it's not a healthy relationship anymore.
And you can't remember that day, but you know it happened quiet, so quiet. Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Love is wide.
So she said she's introducing now the colors, the color red, the color of blood. So now the relationship with the land, who which was dying, the dying land is now covered with red blood, and she is like a flower landing on the meadow. So the meadow is the place in which usually we find these flowers, but she introduced this image, beautiful image of a delicate flower, um, of an innocent flower, um, who is now falling on the earth colored red. So is also the symbolic image, of a dead relationship, but also the real image of the red blood we have during very violent episodes. Um, Usually, all violence is accompanied by blood. This time, the blood is on the land. The blood is on our in the bed. Um, and now I will change to the current, um, the current where she she sings along with Celia Sol. It's a very powerful scene. In the entire song is very powerful in all the interpretations, but here I want you to see this.
Words falling out through the window. All that remains is a silent call. Is the earth colored red as I land like a flower on the meadow? Oh, love is wild. Are your dreams as dead as they seem? Are your dreams as dead as they seem? Don't.
Um, so she's repeating, um, "Are your dreams as dead as they seem? Are your dreams as dead as they seem?" Um, because she tries to communicate with her lover, her previous lover, because we can't talk about a loving person, a person who is inflicted so much violence in your life. So here is the contrast of the person she used to know at the beginning of their relationship. All relationship starts as beautiful and full of dreams, but these dreams need to be alive in order, to fuel the love between the two people. But the more the darkness is settling down into the mind of the perpetrators, um, all the dreams become dark and dead. So, a person using violence is a person who can't see the light anymore, is a very troubled person who have very dark dreams. And she sees that. She still sees that in the person near her. So she asks him, uh, because he fall apart in a thousand pieces. And now she's asking him, "Are your dreams as dead as they seem? Is anything alive in you? So can you come to life? Can you forget about this darkness in you and all this violence you perpetrate against me?"
To speak over my voice, I will return from the shadows, and I bleed in your bed, turn it red like the ground outside your window. Oh, love is wild.
So um, we have here a very powerful part of this song, in which you see the girl who has been through this violence, um, trying to gain her strength and to face uh, the violent partner. And she even dares to tell him, "Don't you dare to speak over my voice." And you see, and many of you in their reactions have seen this into her interpretation. Her voice becomes very powerful and strong, and she sings, uh, "Don't you dare speaking over my voice." And this is something beautiful because it's very, very, very difficult for all the women I met during my work uh, to meet them in a time in which they gather their strengths and have the courage to confront their abuser, and they have the courage to have their voice heard, even if he is obviously much more powerful than her. And unfortunately, this song this song is a little bit darker because my interpretation is that everything which happened quiet is already too late, so um, now she's already dead. We have these stories uh, in Aurora songs in which the human being continue to communicate with us even after the dead. We have this, and we will talk about this in 5 4 3 2 1. So she is already dead, but she can tell us what's happening to her. And my interpretation, it happened quiet, is unfortunately for this girl is already too late. She has been already been killed. So we have this silence, we have this red ground, and now that she is free, she was freed from violence. She talked with him after her death, and she tell him, "Don't you dare to speak over my voice. I will I will be back from the shadows, and I will bleed in your bed, turn it red as the ground outside your window." So don't you think that through my killing me, through killing me, you get rid of me? The memories of me bleeding in your bed will haunting you. My voice, which you didn't heard, my silent call, which you didn't heard during my life, will haunting you after my death, after my death. Or maybe she's speaking metaphorically, and hopefully the girl has didn't die, and she's still alive, and she's just trying to collect all her power and in order to come and stop him. Well, we'll see. We'll see because
Love
we'll follow
is
the next
wine.
Aurora songs on this.
Love is wine.
Okay. Um, this is my interpretation of It Happened Quiet. Um, I will follow with you some other aspects of the psychology of the victims and the perpetrators in violent relationship and through the other Aurora songs. Hopefully, this reaction is shorter than my usual ones, and have a good day. And see you in my next Balaura interpretation. Uh, Goodbye.